Hello, this is Cuckoo. I'm releasing an album and it's out right now for free on YouTube Music Library and on my own web store and also on Bandcamp. So go download it. And in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about how I made one particular song. And it's song number 3, I think, on the album. And it's called This Is Not Jazz. And by the way, the album is called Not Pop. And in this particular song, it was a collaboration that was very important to me with Andre Roligheten. And he is a fantastic saxophone player, first and foremost, but also really no slouch on the recorder, what do you call it? Yeah, the flute. And so stay with me and take part in the journey of how this song came to be. So when I started out with this song, I started out with the Octatrack. All of the songs on the album is starting out with the Octatrack, except the last one, which is a piano improvisation. So the way I'm doing it is I wanted very early on to make an album that felt 100% performed. So I wanted to keep this live performance vibe that's going on. And that is something that is very important to me. Like when you do stuff with sequenced instruments, it's very easy to kind of leave it being sequenced and then just press play. But I wanted to make an album where you could feel that this is something that's actually being played by someone. So when I started out on the Octatrack, I started out with the way I usually do. I divide it up into groups. So let's check out the tracks here. So typically on track number 4, I'm using a kick drum. So yeah, that's a kick drum. Track number, well, let's start that from top. Track number 1, hi-hats. Track number 2, additional percussion. Track number 3, additional rides and stuff. And what else I've got? Let's see. Track number 6 here is a bass. And all together it's like so that's one of the patterns. And typically what I do is I compose pattern by pattern, try to make a little adjustments, little parts, little sections of a song and divide them up into patterns. So pattern, first one, it's like that. Second, variation. There's kind of like a chorus. And it's really hectic, as you can see. And I want it to feel like it's obviously not a real drummer there, because it feels programmed. But I also wanted to keep this performance vibe. So I started out making a recording of this stuff as I'm performing. And typically what I've been doing is I've been recording about 10 to 15 minutes of performance. I just let it run. And if I feel like, this transition there, I could have done that better, I just keep it running and do it again. And then by the end, I have like some really good parts and I start to edit them all together. It's just a stereo recording basically. So this is what the actual arrangement looks like on the in the recording view. As you can see, it's just a stereo recording, and also you can see that I've made a lot of edits to chop up the stereo file. And a lot of people would probably ask me, why did you do a stereo recording? You can't change anything. But I know, but I needed to make a workflow that worked for me, a workflow where I could just move forward at lightning speed, if you will. And also I spent a lot of time mixing the samples before I even put them on the Octatrack, to try to make groups of samples that sound really good together and then start composing with those samples. And also, when I'm creating, like when I'm performing that performance that I'm recording, I also created a lot of scenes. So many of the scenes, I'm using them specifically for quick expressions and also for transitions between phrases, basically. So one phrase could be, let's see, so one phrase could be like this, for instance. And now I'm preparing a shift. 1, 2, 3, and. And then maybe I'll go into this also while making some repetitions. Maybe preparing another pattern change there. So a lot of that, I'm trying not to overdo it too much. It's very tempting to overdo it, but then after listening to it a couple of times, you realize that, oh, I'm doing too much. So I'm trying to keep it down and just do these kind of experimental transitions as accents once in a while, and also as transitions. Yeah. So when all of that is kind of edited, I have a good take, it's down to maybe 5 minutes or 4 minutes or something, starting to look like a song. I started thinking about what else would I want to add here to express myself. And very early on, I really decided to use the acoustic piano. This is the one I'm using. It doesn't look like much. It's a really small, like school piano. So at some point where I have all this stuff going on the Octatrack, I bring in the piano and start to play to the stuff that I have on the Octatrack. And here's a little session before I even started recording the piano. Well, this is a recording on the piano, but before I started to put it onto the actual song timeline, this is just a jam with all the stuff. And in this recording, I'm kind of filling it out and starting to find my confidence in having the piano there and trying to use the piano as something that I really play live rather than play little snippets that I later on will edit. No, I try to keep it as long as possible, like as much as I can, unedited, longer takes of the piano. So this is like probably the same day, but just before I started recording the actual track. When I started to see this song, where it was going, I could clearly see that there is a lot of inspiration from the jazz scene, but it's clearly not jazz. And then just on a whim, I kind of started calling it This Is Not Jazz. That became the title of the song. And also for the album, I started calling it Not Pop. I have nothing against pop, but this is not pop. But it clearly shares some cues of pop music, like some sort of basic rules of chorus, verse, and so forth. There is some of that definitely represented here, but it's clearly not pop music. But it's very enjoyable, and it kind of could become like an earworm that sticks in your head, just like pop songs, but it's not pop. So it started off kind of like a joke, but for me it really means something. It means that I embrace diversity. I embrace this open mindset towards music, where it doesn't matter where the music comes from. Just take it all in, create it with an open mindset, and just be yourself. And with this particular album, I feel like I've actually tried, and I feel like I've accomplished, to be myself, and to the extreme, actually. So I feel like this album is 120% me, and I'm really happy about it. So I have the piano, I have the Octatrack, and it's starting to take shape. And at this point, I'm starting to think, I'd like to play the flute in here. I would like to have a flute solo in here. And I can play the flute. I'm not skilled as a flute player, but I started to play the flute myself. But I quickly realized, in order to keep up with my piano playing, I'm much better with the piano than with the flute. I need someone that can truly play the flute. So I contacted my friend Andre, and he was up for it. So he came over one day and we had this session. And just before I start showing this session, I just want to say that my pitch was kind of like this. Imagine like you're coming to this weird, really private club somewhere in like the outskirts of a strange residence area in Tokyo, or perhaps like a weird narrow street in Nairobi or somewhere, and you're like didn't expect to see a club in this environment, and you come into this narrow place, a small room, and it's packed with people, and there's this guy with his Octatrack playing, and some piano dude, and then this flute player comes and have this magical, personal, like solo, and you're just sucked into it, and you have this like true bond and personal experience with this whole thing. And then you get out of there and you're like, whoa, what actually just happened? Was this even real? Is this going to be here if I just turn around and go back, or was it just a dream in my head? So that was my kind of pitch to Andre. And as you can see in this little session here, we have a healthy discussion throughout the whole session, and I'm so happy I got to have this experience to be kind of the producer in this case, composer, creator, and producer, where I know that talking to a skilled professional musician like Andre, and trying to light the fire within him, and let him take this fire and claim it for his own, and then create this magical piece that in the end, as you can see now very soon, all of our discussions just merged into this magical take by the end. I'm so happy we got to have this session. Yeah, so this is the session with Andre.
Ok, kult. Da vet jeg cirka lengden.
Ja.
Det er mye kortere enn jeg tror.
Det er det.
En gang til.
Og så ikke vær redd for å ha dynamikk volumessig. Ok, skal. kult å bare være med på den ene siste. Dum.
Bare prøve å huske en
Jeg er imponert over at du tok den. Det er kult at du er liksom sær, men du kan også tenke på å være litt sånn brå, lage sånn brå avslutt, der pausen kan ha like mye vekk som tonene.
Litt luft på slutten der. Ok?
Yeah.
En gang til.
Ja, en gang til.
Nå begynner jeg å kjenne på...
Ja, jeg synes det er kult også når du tar litt sånn breaks. Det lager litt luft og gir meg en... Ok. Er det slitsomt å lage sånn fløyting? Jeg har sånn lyst til å ha det et eller annet sted inni det.
Okay.
Et eller annet. Kanskje på det...
Skal jeg levere mer sånne ting mot slutten der?
Ja. Og så tenker jeg også på... Det er så lett å havne i det registeret som kanskje er komfortabelt å dra på. Og det er litt høyt, litt lyst. Det hadde vært fett å også ha kanskje litt mer av det nedre registeret representert. Men det er ikke like...
Prøver.
Ja, ok. Kjempebra avslutt.
Ja.
Ja, det er mye kult.
Der er det noe der.
Ja. Og så tenker jeg også, ikke være redd å lage en melodi et eller annet sted. Så det er kult at vi er liksom frie, og det skjer ting i hele spektret. Også på et sted hadde det vært kult om du bare tok litt for deg og bare, ja, her vil jeg spille min lille melodi. Nei, forresten, det blir ikke.
Ja.
Ok, hører du det selv bra?
Ja.
Fortsett? Ok. Wow, den var jo liksom heil, synes jeg. Jeg synes det var...
Da er jeg enig, da var det mer hold.
Ja, det var mye som ga mening liksom, i det hele bildet.
Kult.
Jeg likte godt liksom, greiene du gjorde tidlig også. Bare høre på det.
Ja.
Yeah, so these are the pieces that put this song together. This is Not Jazz from my new album, Not Pop. And it's available for free. You can download it from YouTube Audio Library. And this is how you do it. I'm going to show a cool screen capture right now how you do it. Basically just go to this YouTube Audio Library and search for my name, True Cuckoo. And there you go. You have all the songs from me. And all of these songs that I've created that are in this library, they're free to use on any project that is going to live on YouTube. And if you want to use these songs on anything else outside of YouTube, generally, yes, you can do that, but please contact me first. And also, if you want to use this on something highly commercial, like an ad or something like that, I'm positive, but we need to come to an agreement between me, YouTube, and Google. So contact me about that too. Yeah, so if you like this album, please have a listen, download all the songs, and most of all, I just hope that you like the music and you want to just listen to it. So download it, put it in your music library, and yeah, listen to it, enjoy it. Yeah, do that. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. And yeah, if you have any questions about this album, the process, I'm going to try to make a couple of them, but quite honestly, I felt the pressure when I was making these songs, and I saw the deadline coming out quickly, and I didn't capture the whole experience with all of the songs. So maybe I'll do videos like this where I kind of recreate the process a little bit. Cool. Peace out, everyone. Stay curious. Be cuckoo.